Get huge savings all summer long with the Buy Here, Sell Here program at the Team Automotive Group. Sell your vehicle to us and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get Team VIP service at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
I'm Gary Rasponi. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor in the state of Louisiana. Why do I think I can do a good job? Or even better than the current Lieutenant Governor? Because I've covered more of the state in 20 years. Y'all either see me in a boat, in a duck blind, at a festival. If you want to find out more about me and what I've done all my life, look me up, GaryRasponi.com.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hello and welcome as we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your little slice of South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. We start today's show talking about repetition and how, if you are reasonably observant, when you see things happen over and over and over again, eventually you come to a point where you know what's going to happen ahead of time based on what you've already witnessed. You may remember just last week, I mentioned that with every passing day getting closer and closer to fall / the flu season, that we were going to be inundated with COVID vaccine warnings, fear-mongering, etc., etc., etc. Little did I know it wouldn't take a week before all of this started to come to a head. Recently, a new poll conducted by the Kaiser Family Foundation's COVID-19 Vaccine Monitor poll asked over 1,200 Americans, do you plan to get the new COVID-19 vaccine? Among those who said we will definitely or probably get the new vaccine, it amounted to 46%. 52% of our fellow Americans that were polled said they will definitely not or probably not get the new shot. Recently, the CDC and others came out recommending that all Americans 6 months of age and older get the new vaccine. You had to know at some point vaccine fatigue was going to set in. Americans, many of them, I guess the most appropriate word would be trusting in government and the alphabet agencies. After going through the vaccination process and multiple boosters, many people now are coming to the realization that, well, this may not be what's right for me. Now, disclaimer, I am in no way, shape, or form dispensing medical advice. This is something that the individual has to decide whether or not it is for them. Not what you see on ABC News, not what you hear on the Clarence Bug Show, not what you hear from random people in the checkout line at the grocery store. It is something that you, as the individual, are responsible for doing your own homework and your own research. What's really interesting in this breakdown, however, is that 70% of the people that said they will definitely or probably get the new COVID vaccine, 70% are Democrats. Only 24% of Republicans say that they will either probably or definitely get the shot. Now, unless and until you do your own homework, suffice it to say there are some folks and some entities that will go out of their way to hide all angles of the whole COVID saga from your eyes. We've seen over and over again any number of experts and scientists tell us one thing only to turn around later on and we find out, hey, that wasn't true. For example, if you take the shot, you will not get COVID and you will not transmit it to anybody else. Well, we all now know that that is blatantly untrue. Some would go so far as to say it's a lie. I will leave to you to determine which of the two it happens to be. But not everyone is on board with the new vaccine push, including some from the scientific community. For example, Dr. Joseph Ladapo is the, begging your pardon, he is the Surgeon General for the state of Florida. And he came out this week with some pretty strong verbiage regarding what he thinks about this new vaccine. Quote, "It's just a really terrible idea, and it's remarkable and really spellbinding that the CDC would make that kind of recommendation in the absence of evidence. By evidence, the Surgeon General of Florida is talking about the fact that the FDA and the CDC could have required Pfizer and Moderna to conduct clinical trials before proceeding forward with vaccinating people with the new COVID vaccine. There were no trials. You know, typically when any new drug comes on the market, they study it. They have people take it. They have a control group. They have folks taking a placebo. They have another group of people taking the new drug product. None of that was done in this instance. And to show you how strongly the Attorney General of the state of Florida feels about this? He said, and I quote, "I suspect that there is a real finding and a major safety concern, and they're pushing the product on human beings. That is an anti-human approach. An anti-human approach." He went on to say that it's unconscionable that the CDC and the FDA would allow this to go into the bodies of our fellow Americans with no clinical trials being done. I knew last week that as we got closer and closer to fall, all of this was going to ramp up again. And of course, they are now advising that any American 6 months of age and older take the new shot. Well, if this poll is any indication of how many Americans plan to follow that advice, it does not look all that good for Moderna and Pfizer, and for the vaccines in general. Again, y'all, listen. It is too easy these days to do your homework. It is too easy nowadays for you to access information from all different sources in an effort to make an informed decision. I only hope that when all is said and done, you will make the best decision you feel possible for you and your family based on your research and not what the media or the big pharmaceutical companies tell you. When all is said and done, and it is in fact a sad commentary, but it is what it is, you are ultimately the one responsible for your own well-being. Not the government, not the CDC, not the media, none of those folks. It's on you. So guys, girls, get ready, because we are going to be inundated from now until God knows when with individuals wanting you to get the new vaccine. You already know, I'm sure, who the at-risk groups are. You already know if you fall into that category. So do your homework, folks. Do your research, and then make an informed decision. First break of today's show. Coming up, second segment, Tuesday show. You know what that means, right? Time for another illustrious edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Very few vehicles develop a community of ownership like the Mazda Miata. But why? Well, maybe it's because Mazda's been building the Roadster for over 25 years and there's never been a bad one. Or maybe it's because the Mazda Miata's been universally praised since its inception as one of the most fun cars to drive for the money. If you're looking for fun, affordability, and reliability, come see our Mazda Miata selection today and experience for yourself why Miata is always the answer. At Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Treads and Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads and Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads and Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads and Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. I guess about 2 years, year and a half ago, Marty, in response to the ever-growing level of stupid in our country, we started a new segment entitled, Now That's Just Stupid. But if you look at the spelling on the screen, you may think it's a typo. Not exactly. The level of stupid that we are talking about that has taken root in our country requires a new word with its very own spelling, as in S-T-O-O-P-I-D, as in, now that's just stupid. We start with the age of the cell phone. You know, until I ran across this story, I don't think I really had a full appreciation for what the cell phone has done to the psyche of American citizens. Meaning, it used to be, when a man or woman, for that matter, would leave home to go to whatever their appointed rounds were, they had to make sure that they had their wallet. Why? Well, the obvious, there's your money in it. But also, there's your identification, there's your license, there's credit cards, etc., etc. So most people these days, they may leave their pants at home, but they're not going to leave their cell phone. 2 women recently in the granola state, California. Clarence, why do you call California the granola state? Well, it's simple. Take out the fruits and the flakes, and all you have left are the nuts. 2 women go into a nail salon business and promptly proceed to walk out of the store with $600 in merchandise. What one of the thieving women didn't realize at the time was that she left her cell phone on the counter in the store with her digital driver's license and credit card right there. So you already know how easy it's going to be to identify the perpetrator of said thievery, right? Oh, but it gets better. Few minutes after walking out of the store, upon stealing $600 of merchandise, this woman comes back in the store and demands that the employees return her cell phone. I'm tempted to say only in California, but stupid has now permeated the entire country. So that might be a little unfair. She goes back in the store, says, yeah, I left my cell phone here, and y'all need to give it back. So the owner says, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. I was just looking at the video when you walked out with over $600 of our merchandise, but I tell you what I'll do. In exchange for you giving me my stuff back, I'll give you your phone back. Sounds reasonable. I mean, considering the circumstances. Not for this woman. She then promptly decides to assault the store owner for not returning the phone that she left before stealing $600 of his merchandise. But you know, karma is a funny thing. Karma's a real funny thing. In most jurisdictions, and it is true in this case, when you walk out with someone's merchandise, that's a simple theft charge. Oh, but when you assault someone in relationship to your thievery, it now escalates to a robbery charge. So old stupido, had she simply said, you know what, I was wrong. Here's your stuff back. Can I have my phone, please, and you'll never see me again? She decides she's going to whoop the you-know-what of the store owner. So they promptly call police after the owner is assaulted, and they find her about a mile away from the store, she and her accomplice, with $600 worth of hot merchandise in plain view for the po-po. White people, that's street slang for the police, the po-po. Even Gary Rasponi knows that one. You'll figure out why later on. It is just amazing the arrogance of some people. You come in, commit a crime, stealing this man's merchandise, stupid enough to leave your cell phone with your digital ID and your credit cards, and then want to fight when they don't want to give you your phone back without you returning the merchandise. Now you know why. STOOPID. Stupid. On another note, this stuff writes itself. You can't make this up. Have you all been following the story of Congressman Jamal Bowman? This is the guy that right before the real contentious vote in Congress last week, before we find out, oh my God, is the government going to shut down? Is America going to go under? This guy is in the congressional annex as they are getting ready to vote and realizes, uh-oh, I might not be able to get back into the chamber, the House chamber, in time. So what does he do? Does he take off his shoes and start running in the stocking feet as fast as he can? Nope. Does he take out his cell phone and call one of his fellow congresspersons and tell them, hold the vote for just a few minutes, I'm in the Capitol Annex, I can't get out, I'll be there in a minute? Nope, not this guy. he proceeds to walk over to the exit doors that are locked with big red and white signs saying, again, you can't make this stuff up. Doors are locked and will only open within 30 seconds of the fire alarm being sounded. So you know what he did, right? Yep, you got it. He rips the signs down, throws them on the floor, and all this is on video, and then proceeds to go and pull the fire alarm. Now, as you might imagine, fire alarm goes off on a building frequented by members of Congress. Every firefighting agency in D.C. is going to respond. You're going to have to evacuate the Capitol. You got to evacuate the annex. We have to find out if the place is really on fire or not. Ironically, this guy used to be a school principal. So if anybody knows what is supposed to happen when you pull the fire alarm, it would be this guy. And leave it to a member of Congress to then tell the American people, it was an honest mistake. I wasn't trying to delay the vote or anything like that. You know, I didn't know this would happen. Well, what about the signs that on video you read before you threw them on the floor? Oh, but it gets better. So after this outcry, because you do realize that's a criminal offense, right? Pulling a firearm when there is no fire, causing resources to be diverted to a non-event is a crime. So he tells the American people, what did our parents teach us, y'all? When you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. He comes out and distributes to his Democrat counterparts talking points on how to defend him from these scurrilous accusations by the MAGA Republicans. My late father, God bless his soul, taught every one of his children early in life that when you're confronted with a situation of your own making, typically you're better off facing it like a man, telling the truth, and owning up. Because with every passing second that you don't, it gets worse. So after putting out the talking points for people to defend him, he then castigated Republicans as the Nazi branch of the GOP. So once the word got out, said, wait a minute, bro, you just broke the law, and now you calling people Nazis? Then he comes out and says, well, somebody, never did name who, somebody put those words in there without my knowledge. That's, as Marty says, because you stupid. I always mistakenly thought that Congress was supposed to be comprised of our best and brightest. Shows you how much I know, doesn't it? Bottom of the hour break. When we come back, got a guy that wants to talk to you because he needs your help. Gary Risponi, candidate for lieutenant governor, joins us next as we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Get yourself summer ready with the award-winning lineup of Hondas at Team Honda. We'll help you find just the right vehicle to hit the road to whatever destination awaits you. Come shop the most awarded brand in Car and Driver's 10 Best history at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Seagan Lane.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
It's time to go where summer leads you during the season of discovery at Team Mazda. Transcend ordinary in the Mazda CX-5 or experience the next level of luxury in the all-new Mazda CX-90. Come by today and discover Mazda at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Welcome back to this edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Note, do not attempt to adjust your set. Your eyes are not deceiving you. You know the face. You know the voice. If you and yours are in any way, shape, or form part of the outdoors in Louisiana, you know this guy. You've seen him in duck blinds. You've seen him out in the marsh. You've seen him doing all sorts of things in the sportsman's paradise that we love so very much. But now, today, I guess he's here as a sportsman, but he's also here as someone asking for your help when it comes to your most prized constitutional possession. Gary Risponi, running for the office of Lieutenant Governor here in the great state of Louisiana. How are you today, my friend?
Clarence, I owe you big time.
Get out of here.
You are so good, and your family, I've been on all the time. North Baton Rouge, legend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, we always talk about North Baton Rouge coming as something special. You know, you cross the tracks, you get down south, you know. A lot of people probably wonder, you know, I did go to 3 different schools. I went to 2 of the biggest public schools, Baton Rouge High and Struma, and I graduated from Struma, but I went to Redemptus 11 years.
I thought you did. Yeah, I thought so.
So I've been involved in coaching and sports and everything all my life. I've served on boards and commissions. I worked in the mayor's office, the citizen service director, 16 years.
Right.
I was on boards and commission, BRAC commission, planning and zoning commission. So I've been involved in government. A lot of it's fun. I really enjoyed doing that. And besides coaching the youngsters,
Right.
and doing what I'm doing now with the TV show and bringing kids from the inner city and everybody and introduce them, that's probably the most fun, the best feeling I ever had in anything.
Wow, that's awesome.
I've been known as a rascal. So when you go to 3 different
No,
schools.
get out of here.
So good Lord gave me a chance, with his mercy, and let me go do things right now that make me feel good about myself and doing it. Now, the biggest question you asked me what makes you think you can do
a better job right.
than Billy Nungesser?
Right.
The number one answer is, first off, he's been in 8 years. Well, coming on 8 years. He in my last 8 years, I've been doing this for 20-something years, he probably only covered about a third of the towns.
Right.
State parks, festivals. Every time we do something and go in the outdoors, it has something to do with a nonprofit, raising money for this, autism, St. Jude, and that's what really makes it fun, and it shows the heritage of Louisiana. Right now, our outdoor heritage, our music heritage, our food heritage.
Speaking of that heritage, as you are maybe more aware than most because you're always in the outdoors, our coastline, Louisiana coastline, is disappearing at an alarming rate. As a sportsman and as a Louisianian, how important is the coastline to Louisiana?
You ever heard of CPRA? Coastal Protection Restoration Authority?
Yes, sir.
They've been studying it and doing it. The people in the legislature, our present governor, governors before them, it's always been a serious for hurricane protection.
Yes.
Flooding, not only livelihoods, but lives. Certain communities right now in Texas are talking about global warming.
Right.
And there's so many things going there. And it's not a perfect science. But the people, and as much as I've been studying and hearing all the people talk,
right,
including the governors that been before that, the closest thing they got to probably saving the coast,
right,
little by little, is the diversions. What shocks me is being a former president of Blackman Parish, Billy is against it, the diversions.
Really?
He says it's too much damage to the seafood, which seafood in Louisiana, you don't want to damage our seafood.
No, you better not.
But they're proving right now that the biggest one damage was probably been oysters, but they can mitigate oysters. They can see them. They're doing it right now in Grand Isle, all the way down in the coast, they're doing it. But they got people right now that'll take you. Coast Protection and Restoration Authority is one of them. They take people down to Chaffalay, where it's naturally building land, and you can go down there. Ryan Lambert, a couple of those marina owners, people in Venice Marine, and that's where Billy was president. Come on and look. Come on, I'll show you. I'll take you in the car at my expense.
Right.
I'll set it up for you if you out there and you really believe that we're going to lose all our. The fishing has been outstanding. Look at our fishing report every week. You cannot believe how many fish are being caught and how many species. You go from freshwater fish, from bass, and then to warm your heart, they even got places down there in Slidell area where they catch from sac-a-lait.
Oh,
you're North Baton Rouge.
Man after my own heart, Gary.
Yeah, so I'm just telling you, my pier in Slidell, on my deck, I can sit there at certain times of the year, either at night with a light and catch peckerel trout and redfish, But during the middle of the day, I can catch shell crackers,
Right.
chinkapin.
Right.
They got all kind of names. Red ear.
Uh-huh.
I can catch them, regular brim. I can catch bass, catfish, river cat. It's right now, it's just unbelievable our fisheries. Now, don't get me wrong. They also proved when we opened the Bonacare Spillway, we lost a few dolphins. Now, I'm going to ask you one question.
Okay.
I hate to lose any wildlife. I'm a conservationist.
Well, of course,
Ducks
yeah.
Unlimited, Delta Waterfowl, you name it, Wild Turkey Federation, I've been in all of them, and what they do a great job. CCA. But should we worry more about losing a few dolphins or lives and livelihood? Homes. That's it. I know it's too long with that question. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. You, in running for lieutenant governor, have had the opportunity to travel all around the state, talk with all different kinds of people, different status in life. What have you learned about the people of Louisiana in running for lieutenant governor?
First off, I love them, and they're resilient.
Oh, yeah?
You got to be resilient in Louisiana. All the storms, hurricanes, floods, and they're going right now it's going all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about how important is our coast. It's important for the rest of the country.
Amen.
I don't know the numbers. I know probably the seafood industry right here. The seafood all over the world right now, or the country, it's probably we're almost to the 20%.
Right.
Just right here in Louisiana. So I don't want to quote no numbers. It's hard, but I promise you, since I've been, and I've served with some of the better interviewers like you, the people that have been in this business, Joe Macalusa, Don Dubuque.
Uh-huh.
And Don been on radio, TV, magazine, Joe Macalusa.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot from them. But they have promoted Louisiana, and they asked the serious questions. There's always been three sides of a story.
Uh-huh.
And they go in. I've done the same thing. I've sat down with the oyster fishermen, and I can understand living livelihood. But
you mentioned what you've learned about the people of Louisiana throughout this process. What has Gary Risponi learned about himself in the process?
I don't know. I've always been an outdoorsman.
Uh-huh.
I always wanted to be involved in politics.
Right.
My uncles, my neighbors, the councilmen, I met my uncles there. My daddy, not so much.
Right.
But my daddy made sure his boys, his kids, his grandkids, and we were always in the water. We were always running rabbit dogs, squirrel dogs. We were always in the outdoors.
South Louisiana boys.
I cry every time I think about it.
Bless your heart.
I did a dove hunt with my brother, and we did all our family and the grandkids, 4 generations at the beginning of the dove season. And every time I see them kids out there, I want to cry. I know that I'm blessed.
Amen. Amen. What advice would you give to someone that right now is where you were before you decided to run? Somebody out there watching this is thinking about getting into politics. What advice could you give?
I worked for some good mayors. I worked in some good campaigns. Polls mean a lot.
Right.
But sometimes they don't. Money does mean a lot. My brother spent millions, and he still lost.
Wow.
And he was a popular guy, good guy. But let me tell you, I don't have nowhere near the money. Me and Mr. Gilroy, one of our good friends.
Albert, right.
He has so much to add because of his experience in Washington years ago and what he doing now and how he worked with the legislature. He'd be so valuable to anybody.
Amen.
Okay? And especially to me. I didn't serve in the legislature besides lobbying.
Right.
I would say don't be scared of your own blood. They said that. I worked with Tom Ed McHugh, one of the better mayors. Sometimes say he was just safekeeper, but let me tell you what, he had vision, he had guts, he was straight ass. And every time he wanted to tackle something, he remembered somebody told me, he said, I can't be scared of my own blood.
Amen.
You go in and get in there, whether you win or lose, you do it. But it's still important to win.
Early voting is underway, and folks will be heading to cast their ballots. Your number on the ballot, Gary?
22.
Double deuce. Number 22, Gary Risponi, running for lieutenant governor, asking for your support. By the way, I'm going to hold you to that fishing trip, buddy.
You got it, brother.
All right.
You want to go Sackler, or you want to move up to speckled trout
I'm
and
going to
redfish?
move up to some specks. I want to try some specks.
You got it. Thank you again for letting me come on.
Pleasure's all mine, Gary. And by the way, be sure to check him out. When you need your outdoors fix, here's the guy right here on the Pelican. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up this week's edition of the Clarence Bug Show right here on the Pelican. Stay close. Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
I'm Gary Risponi. I'm running for lieutenant governor. What makes me different than the president and lieutenant governor? I believe in the divergence. I believe in what all the scientists have proven right now. It's really the only way to save our coastline, save our heritage, save our families, save our homes, save everything and protect us from the hurricanes. Should we save our homes or should we save a few dolphins? Look me up, GaryRisponi.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Want to cover some Louisiana news before we run out of our time allotted to spend with you today. This particular story is one of those that when you first encounter the story, I would imagine for 95% of us, the initial reaction is, oh man. But after you look at the situation in its entirety, you then get a different opinion of what actually transpired. Last week, Joseph Richard The last Louisiana-born survivor of the attack on Pearl Harbor passed away at the age of 100 years old. He was just 17 when he volunteered to join the U.S. Navy. He was on the USS Regal when Japanese bombers flew over the island and attacked our naval base at Hawaii. Richard worked frantically to free the individuals that were trapped inside the wreckage of the USS Oklahoma and the USS Arizona. Quote, "It'll make a man out of you. It made a man out of me. I wasn't no boy no more." You know, I make no bones about the fact that I hail from a military family. Those of you that know my story know that my late father wore the uniform of the United States Army for 27 years. Yours truly, born overseas in Würzburg, Germany, while he was stationed there many, many years ago. So I have always had a special affinity for individuals in the military, and particularly those that served when my father served. I know for a fact that in the immediate aftermath of something like this, many times words simply do not suffice. They just don't. When a family is grieving, and particularly if they are grieving over the loss of a family member that was a special person, it makes it that much harder. So I won't attempt to assuage their anguish. I have been there and done that, as most of you have as well. I would just like to ask that if you are a member of the community of faith, be so kind, if you will, as to keep the family of Joseph Richard in your thoughts and prayers. He was originally from Baton Rouge, but later moved to Church Point. Help me out, Marty. Church Point, that's in St. Landry or Evangeline Parish? I think you're right. Marty says Evangeline. For some reason, St. Landry Parish pops into my head. Keep that family in your thoughts and prayers. We should all be so fortunate as to have individuals in our lives and our families that believe in God and country and are blessed enough to stick around for 100 years. It may not seem like it right now, family, but it's a blessing. It's a blessing. In other Louisiana news, yet another Baton Rouge police officer was arrested recently, bringing to 4 the number of BRPD officers accused of misconduct. All this goes back to the Brave Cave episode that I don't want to be overly dramatic, but it shocked the consciousness of the Baton Rouge community. You guys and girls know full well, for the most part, Baton Rouge citizens are big on law and order. And when something like this happens, it can, and oftentimes will, shake a city to its core. And there is a distinct possibility that the ramifications of this behavior, if proven to be true, could be far-reaching. Just yesterday, District Attorney Hilla Moore announcing that the individuals involved, the 4 BRPD officers, were individuals dealing with Street Crimes Division, and as a result, they were some of the hardest working as far as the number of criminal cases, one of the top in the city. So as a result now, because of these, again, allegations, the presumption of innocence certainly applies to these four individuals as much as it does to you and I. But the DA is announcing that there is the possibility that they're going to have to go back and review over 1,000 criminal cases to be sure that these four, allegedly, did not engage in any improprieties in arresting these individuals and attempting to solve crimes. It is something that is not easy to swallow, particularly for those of us that support law enforcement wholeheartedly. But at the end of the day, law enforcement is an institution that has to have the support of the public. It is impossible for a city to prosper when its citizenry does not have full faith and confidence in those who are charged with enforcing the law. Where all of this is going to go, none of us know. The FBI has been asked to take a look at what is happening here and see if there are any federal charges that may be warranted. They are also asking the public that may have encountered any of this group of individual officers and feel that they were not given a fair shake to report that to local authorities. Only time will tell us where this is going to go, and only time, I'm sure, if, again, they are found guilty, only time will heal the wound that this has opened in Baton Rouge and law enforcement. It is a sad commentary, but as you've heard me say God knows how many times, it is what it is. We have to acknowledge it, and we have to deal with it up front so that we can restore integrity to that institution, and more important, we can restore trust from everyday, ordinary Baton Rougeans. At the end of the day, we deserve no less. Pure and simple. Now that being said, my time's up and I gotta go. But you already know the drill. Guys, girls, yeah, this day, maybe more so than any other day in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we are not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon. God bless.